Hey, it's Livingston Live. I'm Nate Livingston. Now I stopped. First of all, let me give y'all a few minutes for people to chime in, for people to join on, for people to get the notice that it's time for Livingston Live. And while I'm doing this, let me see if I can. What I want to do today, if I had my other phone, I'd be able to do this. I want to play for you all. And I'm gonna kill time for a few minutes while people check in and come online, because I might have one of my other phones with me, and I might be able to do this. What I want to do, I want to play for you all. Earlier today, I want to walk y'all through what just happened. For those of you who were there, thank you for coming back. It ain't in there. Let me wave it at this sister, because I know she don't be liking me to call her name during the rollout. So let me give y'all a background on what just happened and tell y'all, where I'm going with this. Help y'all understand where I'm going with this. And while I'm waiting on more people to come, let me just say hi, Pam. Hey, Love Lazarus. Hey, Ree. Hey, Mark. Hey, I ain't gonna say folk name who I think don't want me to say their name. Hey, Alfonso, Azaria, Griswold, William Kirkland, Terry Bishop. So this is what just happened. So earlier today, let me take y'all back about 2 hours ago. So in Toledo, the good white folk have their own talk radio show. It's run by a guy. He's a cocaine addict named Scott Sands, and it's funny how white folk, you can be a cocaine addict, you can be all messed up, and they still will give you a radio show. And in fact, this guy is over the music stations and the talk station in Toledo, named Scott Sands. So Scott Sands, on the first Wednesday of the month, Scott Sands has the mayor of Toledo on the show most months. So earlier today, the mayor of Toledo was on the radio, the white talk radio station, with Scott Sands. And I called in. I wanted to play it for you. If you're interested, please just kind of keep an eye out on my feed. I'll figure out how to get it. I recorded the conversation between me and the mayor, but I can't play it while I'm talking on the phone doing this Facebook Live. Y'all understand that, right? So I asked him about this crazy Killercop named Ken Krabill. Now, for those of you who, because I see some names on here, and everybody saying hi, I want to say hi to all y'all. For those of you who ain't been following this, let me just give y'all the brief rundown on what the problem is with this crazy police officer. So Ken Krabill, back in July, between the middle and the latter part of July, Kenneth Krabill was caught on video assaulting an unarmed black man named Ryin Douglas-Reed. The video went viral, seen by over 250,000 people. 250,000 people saw Kenneth Krabill take his fist and punch Ryan in the face. Now, here in Toledo, for those of you who ain't from Toledo, you might need a little bit of background. Last October, November, we had a council member of council, elected member of council, citywide council member, whose name is Larry Sykes. He's an African-American man, and he was accused of choking a citizen. And what did the police do? They investigated. They charged him with assault. They put him in an orange jumpsuit, put his face all in the TV and the newspapers, and eventually he was brought to justice. He pled guilty to a lesser charge. So that is the standard. That's how they treat black council people who engage in violent actions against citizens. They arrest them, they investigate them, they arrest them, and they take them to court. So what did they do with crazy cop Ken Krabill? after he was caught on video punching a citizen. And let me add this. In the police report, Kenneth Krabill admits that he balled his fists up, and with a closed fist, he hit Ryan in the face. He punched him. He admitted it. Same type of admission that Bill Cosby did. And so, well, you know, actually that was a sworn statement. So it's a similar type of thing. So he was not arrested. He was not suspended. And as far as I know, he wasn't disciplined in any way. So many in the community said, this man is a potential ticking time bomb. Y'all got to do something. We took it to the police chief. We took it to the mayor. We took it to the members of council, including that same Negro who got arrested for assaulting somebody. Took it to every last one of the person up the chain of command. Nobody did anything. In fact, well, I shouldn't say they didn't do anything. One of the things they did was they reached out to the Toledo NAACP and said, give us some cover on this. And so the Toledo NAACP said, we ain't gonna make no noise on it. And so they didn't. Nobody did anything. They left this man patrolling the streets. 2 weeks later, this guy with his partner in crime, a guy named Ryan Babcock, they was out hunting black folk one day, and they found Lamar Richardson Jr. And they chased him all over town. And they claimed they chased him for between 2 and 3 hours. They hunted him down like a runaway slave. Wouldn't let him go. Hunted him down, cornered him over in North Toledo, and they took their guns out and first of all, they ordered the man to pull your gun out, drop it on the ground. So when the man went to pull his gun out, well, I've seen the video, and this is what I saw on the video. When the man went to follow their instructions, pull his gun out, throw it on the ground, before he could make that move to throw it on the ground, they opened fire, killed him, slaughtered him right there in the streets of Toledo. Now, you say, well, he wasn't arrested the first time when he was assaulting somebody. Surely, Nate Livingston, you're not gonna get on Livingston Live and tell us they didn't do anything about him. He's not still patrolling the streets. He's not still wandering around free. And I wish I could tell you that, but that ain't true. They did the same thing they did when Ken Krabill assaulted somebody. They did the same thing when he killed somebody. They went to the NAACP. The NAACP went and had a press conference, not to call for the man to be arrested, not to call for the man to be investigated, not to call for the man to be suspended or fired. The NAACP had a press conference to call for calm, keep an open mind. It's just one dead black man, and the police probably... Now, so when I confronted the mayor, so I've been hunting the records and doing all this stuff. So today, the mayor's on the radio. We're going to go right back to where I started this video. So I asked him, what's the status? What y'all doing? Why y'all ain't reported back to the community? And the mayor said, if it's a lie, he told it. And I got the tape, and I'm going to put it up there as soon as I can. And in fact, I hate to give them any publicity, but this is an iHeart radio station, 1370 WSPD in Toledo. I bet you could go hear a podcast of the mayor, and you could hear it for your own ears. Can't nobody say I tampered with the tape. Anyway, the mayor said that both incidents had been taken to a grand jury. I don't believe him for 1 second. Those of you who know me know that I'm a paralegal, that I've been doing legal work for 20, 25 years. And I know what I'm talking about. I don't just get to run in my mouth. Assault is a misdemeanor. You don't go to a grand jury to get a misdemeanor. You don't need an indictment. The city prosecutes misdemeanors. So if the mayor wanted the cop arrested and charged and have his day in court just like the black councilman, he would have turned to his law director and to his city prosecutor and said, arrest that man, file a complaint. Police chief, arrest him, let him have his day in court. If he's found not guilty, so be it. They didn't do that. So, number one, the mayor claimed that the county prosecutor, a lady named Julia Bates, had convened 2 grand juries, and that both grand juries looked at the evidence and, they decided they wasn't going to indict the officer. They couldn't find nothing wrong. The mayor went on to say that an internal investigation had been conducted. Now, let me just pause for just real quick. I know I can be long-winded. And I want to get to the protest outside of Ken Krabill's home. But as soon as both of these incidents happened, the police chief, who is the boss of everybody in internal, and the mayor came out with different statements saying, justifying the police officer's actions. The mayor went into this long thing when it was simply assault about, well, different cultures, and we see things through different eyes, and so we have to be able to see it through a different lens, and we have to understand each other and just listen. That ain't what they told Larry Sykes. That ain't what they told him. They told him, we got to take you to court, and either some jurors are gonna see it, or a judge is gonna see it, or you gonna make a plea. So then when he went and killed somebody, they instantly that night played a video and told us that what we saw on that video wasn't what we really saw. But they told us, when you heard them say, well, they played this game, they claimed their microphones didn't work, so you just had to see it. So they added what was going on, they commentary, as the video played. Well, when you seen pull that gun out, they did tell him to pull the weapon out and drop it, but he had more than enough time to pull it out and throw it. No, he didn't. So they telegraphed to Internal Affairs, we want you to find this person not guilty, that they didn't violate no policy and procedure. And guess what? If you in internal and you kind of weak, you don't want to lose your job, you don't want to you have your wife mad at you, you gonna do the wrong thing. You gonna do what your boss, the police chief, and what his boss, the mayor, tell you to do. If they say don't find no wrongdoing in the police officer's actions, you ain't gonna find nothing wrong with his actions. So let me pause. Thank everybody else who I haven't said. I don't know if I said Terry. Hi Terry. Hi Queen Elise. Hi Whitney. Darlene says she was concerned after I stopped recording. I'm going to get to that, why I stopped recording and where I'm going with this. Rochelle, how you doing? Did I say hi to everybody else? Lynette. Sharon Jeffries is even watching. Valerie Shipman. Orlando says, talking don't solve nothing. So who going to take action and who just want to get people riled up? Well, it's a good question, and hopefully I'm going to answer that in just a second. Be patient. Valerie Shipman, Levita, Brian Reese. Okay. Breath wasted. What's the reason for saying no justice, no peace? Unless you going to come out here and do it better than me, have patience. Just listen. Thank you, Mr. Livingston, for your work, knowledge, ethics, caring for your community. You're welcome, Valerie. Now, the sun is going down, so let me talk even faster and get through these points. So I'm through the radio show. The mayor claimed it was a grand jury. We're going to find out about that tomorrow. Was it a grand jury? Did the mayor lie? Did the grand jury come back and say they found no criminal wrongdoing? Or did the mayor lie? Was there an internal affairs investigation, or did the mayor just tell a lie to me and to the listeners of that radio station and to the people of Toledo? So I decided on my own, I didn't run it by my comrades, my colleagues, my friends, my fellow activists. I didn't tell nobody I was going to do this because I didn't want to put them in, it could have went south, you know what I'm saying? And so I didn't want to put nobody in jeopardy, and so I said I can handle this on my own today. So I already knew where Ken Krabill lived. So, and I had gas in my car, and I had my megaphone in the trunk. And so I said, well, let me go out here and do a no justice, no peace with Ken Krabill. And so many of you who are watching this now have already watched that video. And what happened is, as I figured, a whole bunch of police officers showed up. They didn't like that. They didn't like me being outside his house with a megaphone, calling his name, telling his neighbors what he'd been doing over in the black community. See, it used to be a time when white cops would come, they do their job. That's why we need them to live in the city. So we need to be able to reach out and touch them. We need to know who they are. The neighbors need to know who they are. Peer pressure works. So I felt like his white neighbors need to know who they living next to. He got a for sale sign out in front of the yard, so they about to move. But somebody was up in that house. So they come 5, 6, I believe it was 6 cruisers by the time we leave. Now, why did I stop taping? And what happened while we were not on video? First of all, we were on video, unless they gonna make that tape disappear. It was me and the lieutenant talking. The lieutenant was in charge. He was the highest ranking officer on the scene. Now, you all probably heard before I stopped the Livingston live video, them say using a megaphone is a noise ordinance. It's and I'm gonna go back and get the exact wording off the tape. It's a noise ordinance. You're breaking the law. That's when I said, well, I'll go put this in my trunk and I'll just come out here. You can't. What's gonna be your thing now? So what the lieutenant told me in his own words were, this is harassment, which is against the law. And so I could have challenged them, right? I could have forced the issue. I could have said, well, I appreciate you saying that, but I'll take my chances. I'll endure the arrest. You can arrest me for harassment. I can insist on going back out here. Y'all can arrest me for harassment. Then y'all can tow my car, because that'll be the next move. And then I can go rustle up, have somebody rustle up bond, you know what I'm saying, come get me out of jail. They'll probably make me spend the night in jail. But there's often more than one way to skin a cat. And so me getting it, let me give y'all a historic reference. And this to tell y'all where I'm going. How many of y'all remember that, you know, we celebrated not so long ago the 50th anniversary of them crossing the bridge down in Selma, the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma? How many of y'all know they didn't, Bloody Sunday wasn't the only time that they attempted to cross that bridge? So I see some of y'all nodding y'all heads. They went back. They went the first time, they got turned around. They went back a second time, they got beat down. If my history wrong, forgive me. But we know it was definitely at least 2 times. I believe I'm right that they went back 3 times, and only the 3rd time were they able to cross the bridge. What was different between the first time, the 2nd time, and the 3rd time? I'll tell you. Between the 1st and the 2nd and the 3rd time, they took the words and the actions of the law enforcement officers, and then they went into federal court and said, we need a federal court order restraining the police from falsely arresting us on whatever charges they were talking about at the time. And then number 1, it shamed Selma forever. And number 2, it caused them to be able to exercise their constitutional rights. So whenever I look at a movement action, a civil rights action, I always have my activist brain, and I have over here, I have my paralegal brain, you know. And so my paralegal brain said, go out here and make a test run today. See what they gonna say. See what they gonna threaten you with. And then you know how to take the action. So what I'm telling you is, basically, they fell into a trap. Now, Kenneth Krabill is going to have to answer for what he did to that man, assaulting that man, and for what he did killing that man. I'm still trying to find Lamar Richardson's father. I done looked through his obituary. I didn't know his mother had passed before he did. I still want, if you can, put me in contact with that boy's people. I got an attorney in mind who I'm almost positive would take them and file a wrongful death lawsuit, they don't lose nothing. If he don't prevail, they don't lose nothing. So I'm not going to let up off Ken Krabill, because Ken Krabill exemplifies a breakdown in this system. Police officers can do all sorts of crazy stuff. The administrative disciplinary process is broken. They don't get charged with crimes when they assault people. I know a story, and I don't want to put nobody on Front Street, but I know a story, and I read through the reports where the police went and kicked somebody door in one night and beat up a man. You know, it was crazy. And when it was all said and done, nobody got suspended, nobody got fired, nobody got criminal charges, none of the police officers. And so it's about him individually, but it's also about a bigger thing. Now, I'm proud to say I'm with Sir Major Page and the Toledo Alliance of Social Justice, and we have given the city months ago. We gave them a list of demands that we want, and I want to say the majority of them deal with reforming city processes. And so it's about the policies and the processes. Now, I want to say this last thing, and then I'm going to go. So one other thing that I did was yesterday. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing too many Livingston lives, because, and I say people can't keep up with all these. But so yesterday, I went down to the FBI headquarters here in Toledo. How many of y'all didn't even know we had an FBI in Toledo? I know. And so I went down to the FBI, and I told them, y'all have certain federal laws and federal authority. When you have a local police department that's off the hook and out of control, and the people at the top is either scared or incompetent or just okay with corruption and abuse of citizens. Sometimes when you have a local system that's so tainted, like in Ferguson, you know, like in Baltimore, like in Cincinnati back in the day, you have to go around them. And if you can't, you either go to the state level, the Attorney General. That wouldn't do us very much good in Ohio, because he's one of them. He ain't never stood up and against police brutality. But it's also something else you can do. You can go to the feds, and the feds can come in. And I've seen the feds take what Ken Krabill did, which is a videotaped assault, and say, you know what, you violated that man's civil rights. And that's a charge. And charge him federally. And so I'm working on a lot of things. You will probably see a lawsuit out of this action today. You definitely gonna see me double down on that FBI request, that conversation, and that information that I gave them. And I hope that this will help push the mayor and the members of council and the mayor's administration to get busy getting them demands from the Toledo Alliance of Social Justice enacted. So that's what I did. I did turn I didn't trick the guy. I didn't say I was going to turn it off and then secretly keep the video going. But I'm going to go get a copy of that video from the cruiser, and I'm going to post that so y'all can see what I said. You know, I wasn't making no deals, you know, and I know some old mischievous person, probably somebody mischievous and black. Man, you turn that camera off, I bet you wasn't talking all crazy then. I bet you was I talk the same with the camera on, with the camera off. So that's it. Let me see, did anybody ask any questions that I can answer? And then I'm gonna end this, y'all. Hello Mari, I'm watching. Thanks for watching, Ms. McGee. I'm watching. Thanks for watching, Tanisha. This is exactly what we all need to do. Get up, get outside, and be actively bringing it to them. I'm with you on shit like this. Most of us are scared to do anything. It's easy to type shit on Facebook, but I respect you for this, and we should all follow your lead. Like this in all our cities. Respect, brother. Thank you so much for that. Valerie Shipman says, be more like Martin L. King Jr. Okay. Well, I just gave you an example. Martin Luther King was intimately involved in the activities down in Selma. So, you know, now some people gonna be mad at me. You comparing what you just did going out to that police officer's house to what they did down in Selma? Well, we fighting for the same constitutional rights. The right to assemble, the right to protest, the right to exercise our free speech. So, you know, in some ways, I am being like Martin Luther King Jr. Mari Cone says, yes, I remember. Valerie says, next time have someone go with you. Never go alone. This isn't your burden alone. I know. And I apologize. I knew as soon as he said, would you cut the video off? You know, I said, oh man, some of my people, especially if I was in Cincinnati, my security folk would be real mad at me for doing that, for going and for agreeing to turn the video off. But I think it worked out. Charlotte says, bingo. Mari says, sure, a lot of people would offer to. I had to go back and rewind the video to see what I was saying back then. Rochelle says, I concur. Durden says, Lamar Richardson, Pinky Tuscadero? Who is that? That's his, what's that, his grandma or something like that? And you know what? I'm going to just share this because they didn't swear me to secrecy. So I found the address for Lamar Richardson Sr., the man's father, and I went out. And it just so happened it was a guy out grilling in the front yard. So I didn't have to go knock on the door. That's what I was going to do. And the guy said, I said, well, you know, hello. I introduced myself, told him what I was there for, who I was looking for. They said, man, he don't live here no more. I said, well, do you know where he live? And he said, well, I'm his brother. You know, I said, well, can you put me in contact with him? But you know how black people is. Don't give out my number unless I tell you it's okay. So he said, nah, brother, I can't give you his number. I can't give you his address. He said, look him up on Facebook. I did. So if you friends with Lamar Richardson Sr. out of Toledo, I sent him a friend request. I sent him a message. You know, I told him, you know, I ain't trying to suck up off of y'all. I ain't trying to nothing do to y'all. No harm, in no way. And so would you please let him know that I'm looking for him. I want to talk to him. You know what I'm saying? I might be able to help. I can't guarantee, but I might be able to help him. What did the police say to you in front of Krabill house? I think I just answered that. Maury says the system is so broken. Yes. And yes, I'm curious what police say off camera too. So I think I just answered that. Henry Jones is watching or was. Rochelle, Barbara Harris is watching or was. Where's Sir Major? I didn't tell. Sir Major's in Toledo. He been working. He got back and he hit the ground running. So, you know, and I'm glad he's here. Because you know what? Sometimes he may have to do something on one part of town. I may have to go do something on another part of town. And I'm just thinking, you know what? It's Wednesday. How did I not think about this? I'm going to end this and then I'm going to go to Bible study. Oh, man, I was going to go in the store. I'm going to go to Bible study. Then I come do the store afterwards. So Sir Major, the answer to the question, Sir Major is here in Toledo. He on the case. He on the scene. He doing good work. He hit the ground running. Maury says the people has lost. And don't fault him for not being here with me on this particular action. You might not have been here early in the video. I deliberately didn't invite nobody. I didn't tell nobody what I was planning to do, because if it went wrong and some people went to jail, I didn't want to be responsible for that, because I ain't got no bail money for them right now. The people has lost God. This world is coming to an end. Oh, I hope not. To go and stand with you, because you are not alone. I know y'all ain't alone. I know I ain't alone. You know, and that's partly why I do some of the things that I do on. I don't do everything on Facebook Live, but I do certain things there because I feel like it allows you to be there and see some of the stuff that's going on. But also I do it for selfish reasons, because people was less inclined to do crazy stuff when they know other people was watching. So y'all really helped me, you know. And I know everybody can't possibly be everywhere I am. You know, I'm retired. I you know, anyway. It is all of us God-loving, God-fearing people's fight. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Brian says, big thumbs up to you for from Cincinnati. Thank you, Brian. David is watching or was watching. Rochelle says, I was lucky enough to meet Sir Major today. Wish it was under better circumstances. Okay, I don't know what those circumstances was, but I'm glad y'all connected. Barbara says you did a great job. Thank you so much. Charlie Mack is watching. Charlie, I'm about to end this, man, so it's going to rewind and then, you know, show up. You might find this one interesting. Rochelle says Toledo needs to thank you. You know what? The people don't owe me no thanks. I'm doing what I feel like I should be doing. So, matter of fact, Charlie Mack is watching. I'm late. I'm almost embarrassed to go to my Bible study and come in so late. Where's Bible study at, Charlie Mack? Didn't you tell me you a preacher? I know it's Wednesday night, so I may keep this Livingston Live going for a few more minutes and come out when I end it and come out and do a little Bible study with you. So where y'all doing Bible study at tonight, Charlie Mack? Toledo needs to thank you. Brian Reed says you are welcome. Mari says one person can make a world of difference. I really believe that. One person can make a difference. It took Rosa Parks. Or either she's saying look at Rosa Parks or it took Rosa Parks. But both of them I agree with. You know, and you know I've been training for this for my whole adult lifetime, all the way from college, you know, through Cincinnati, through the military. They didn't know they was training up a civilian warrior. They thought they was training me to go overseas and kill up a bunch of folk. But I've taken many of the lessons that I learned in the military and applied them to do what I believe is helping my people. Darlene says, great job today, Nate. Thank you. Mari says, Martin Luther King Jr., the list is never ending. That's right. One person can definitely make a difference. Okay, I got to go. Charlie Mack ain't going to tell me, wait, we can't break bread and worship together, Charlie Mack. Is that what you telling me, man? I don't know what to think about that. I'm going to love you anyway. Rochelle says, there's a whole story behind Rosa Parks most people don't know about, but good point, Mari. Yes, I think I know some of that backstory. But in the end, backstory or not, she did what she felt like was right, and she changed the world. She changed history. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Twyla Page is watching now. Oh, Miss Page, you came in at the end. But I'm going to hit the finish button, the share button, so it should repopulate in a few minutes. So thanks, everybody. I'm going to end this Facebook Live. And here come Crystal. I'm going to end this, and I'm going to get back with y'all later on.